Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. First of all, no periodic table, no alien talk. But let's get into this. This is actually a little bit mixed. I asked the creator for permission, so it's going to be a portion of the segment that is not a download from the ethers. Majority, I want to say about 95% of the conversations that we have here are straight up downloads from the ethers, right? But a good amount, sometimes, or a small amount rather, of these segments are by way of the creator's permission. Just some things that I feel still could be useful for the podcast that are based on my opinion and my take, right? Like I said before, this is the creator's podcast, all right? So I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm in Newark, New Jersey, for those of you who didn't know that. But there was a shooting this afternoon. Today is Thursday, September 5th, okay? In the afternoon, late afternoon, and I'm disappointed because it was children, from what I'm hearing. And it's like, we had a segment before where we had discussed, how we need to start safeguarding the youth. And again, that wasn't a message for me because I'm not a parent. I don't have children, right? So a lot of these messages, again, are for people who tune in. And even if it's not for them specifically, they may know someone who can use the information, right? So in short, I'm just saying I'm disappointed. We really have to get a hold of these babies. They are the future. And I think they need to realize that they are the next ones up. We're right now in the process of getting ready to transition to start allowing them to lead, right? I mean, we have a bit, but I'm just saying, like, you get what I'm saying. It's about to be their turn soon, right? To start spearheading things. So we have to do our part to make sure that they are prepared to be the next people, the next generation, and they have to be better and stronger than we are, right? Okay, cool. Now, the download. The download is when you break a spirit off of a person, they will start to either come around you or reject you. It can go two ways, okay? Or when you need to break a spirit off of a person, they can either be compelled or they can reject, okay? So, yeah, it's really, really important that we start getting into understanding how to get involved with our spiritual selves, okay? Because we've shifted into this timeline and we are currently operating in a portal that is very new to us in this timeline, right? In this dimension. We have to make sure that we are thriving high enough to keep going, right? We've made it here. We entered through it. But as you can see, time is flying, okay? There are different surahs and scriptures that talks about being careful of casting out spirits. If you haven't been given, and we talked about this briefly, and actually we did a full segment from different perspectives where we went over the differences between casting out like different ways to eradicate spirits, right? In this instance, we have to realize that when you free a spirit, or when a spirit has been freed from you, it has to find a vessel if you don't cast it down. Okay? Casting it out is just getting rid of it from the vessel that it is possessing, the vessel that it's possessed. It doesn't matter the spirit, okay? You can pick it. It doesn't matter. All right, I'm not going to say your name all of the spirits, but in reality, you have to understand that these spirits are, first of all, they're in the wrong dimension, right? These are spirits that belong in a different dimension. They're not souls. We have souls. We carry souls, okay? These spirits, they come from the depths. So that's why you have to send them back to where they came from. You can kill it off. You can do whatever you want when you cast it down. But you have to make sure that when you cast it out, that you are protecting yourself from it attacking you. Or if it is a spirit that you have been able to grapple with, if you have decided to take on a person's demons, you have to have experience in dealing with that spirit. You can't just have you ever seen those movies? They have a bunch of them, right? Like these exorcism movies where you will see, and I think the most recent one I've seen, it was with Russell Crowe. He was a pastor, and it was a very aggressive spirit. It was a very old spirit, and that is another thing, right? You have to be aware. Some of these spirits are beasts. They can take you out, literally. I mean, your physical vessel. People die. We just had a woman who passed away. She went to be blessed in as, I forget the name of it, but it's just basically like a voodoo priestess. And she passed away. Now, I don't know all the details. I didn't really do, the full research on it. But just from what I've heard, she wasn't prepared for the energy that she was calling in. She was calling in a particular frequency to be able to step in a certain realm, right? And her vessel wasn't prepared for that. So that is just the physical aspect of it. You can become totally consumed by a spirit. So if you find that you've released and relieved a person of a spirit, and let's just say you open yourself up to it as opposed to casting it down because you are battling that same spirit, right? Or because you have experience and, like I said, grappling with this particular spirit. In the event that you become consumed, you cannot be willing to give the spirit back to the person. You have to make sure you are dealing with the spirit and doing what is necessary to kill it off completely. If the spirit has consumed you in such a way where you've lost control and it has totally overtaken you, and again, okay, I'll name some spirits. The same-sex spirit, the spirit of perversion, the spirit of lust, the Jezebel spirit, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever the spirit is, the spirit of addiction, the spirit of lack, the spirit of laziness. There's a bunch of different spirits, right? So that's what I mean. I'm not going to name them all, but just to name a few, if you are familiar with that spirit, remember we have familiar spirits. If you are aware of the spirit, it is one thing, right, to be able to deal with it. And you can easily become definitely consumed if you are just aware and not familiar with it. It's one thing to be aware but it's another to understand the spirit, because you yourself have dealt with that same spirit. Okay. This is why demons and legions and all that, this is why they hang out in clusters, because the energy becomes stronger when these spirits can collide. Remember, we talked about spawns not too long ago. It was a couple of weeks ago where we talked about the spawns of spirits. So, and this is where these spirits, they have the ability to grow into different spirits from one frequency. Okay, this is important, guys. We have to understand that because we are already spiritual beings and we are having this spiritual experience and we are in a dimension, we are on a plane or in an environment that is conducive to spirituality. Water, we're filled with water. Water is very spiritual. It's fluid. Things move in water. Nothing stands still in water. We're full of water. Okay, we move. We don't sit still. In the physical aspect, in the mental aspect, in the social aspect, in the spiritual, and even in the financial. We grow, we develop, we move, we evolve. Nothing stays the same, especially not in this dimension. So for this segment, if you would take anything away, I really believe that knowing that if you are, and even entertaining certain spirits, whether you are aware or familiar or not, once you get to a particular level where you have a certain level of spiritual maturity and understanding, right, you get to the point where you could find a way to learn the spirits. The creator will just tell you, you'll know when you have come into a new spirit, because it will be unfamiliar and you won't be able to directly put a finger on it, right? Later on, there may be a notion before, or there may be a full-on download after on the type of spirit that this is, if it's a new spirit. And you want to be wary. We've had a conversation. It wasn't really that like far back, but it was a little while ago where we talked about dealing with spirits that we're unfamiliar with. I don't think we went into depth, but we had a slight discussion about how we are going to be entertaining a lot of things that we're unfamiliar with. And then within these past few weeks, over the course of the spring and the summer, we had started talking about, just the new timeline that we're on and how we're about to be moving into different dimensions and timelines are merging together. So we're going to be interacting with different beings from different dimensions and from different timelines, because our worlds are colliding, in many different ways. We talked about that, guys, right? So, yeah, this is just one of those things where we have to get that full-on understanding on what we need to be doing to prepare ourselves for maintenance. That was one of the things the creator wanted me to also bring up, but it's gonna be a different segment. But yeah, maintaining the frequency is gonna be important, because a lot of things are gonna be coming to disrupt it. The things that you are connected to and the things that have absolutely nothing to do with you at all. Of course, we know everything is connected, right? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's like that. All right, but I'm gonna end it here. I do love you guys. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are gonna be getting ready for the weekend, because it's party time, right? I hope y'all are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea. because it's free. All right, love y'all. Peace.